we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order of the library trustees. And we're going to start with, it says introduction of guests, but we're going to go around and introduce each other first and tell us a little bit about yourselves and a little bit about your passion for libraries and that sort of thing. And then we'll proceed to, if there are any guests that need to be introduced or they'd like to introduce themselves, we'll let them do that. So, I'm Jackie Wilbur. I am a retired elementary school librarian, and I had served on Portland's Cable Commission Board, and I had served on Sumner County's Good Neighbor Mission. But when I came here, I found my people, and I said, this is where I belong, because I have always loved literacy and libraries and spent the last 12 or 13 years of my career in there. So it was a good fit for me. Okay. Susie?
Oh, me. Susie Trout. I work for the assessor's office upstairs, and I'm taking your notes.
Anita Ellis. I'm a retired elementary school teacher here in Sumner County, and I'm a lifelong reader. I love to read, and I read all 4 books at once. I'm picking one up, and the next night I might read something else. But I love books, and I worked as a children's librarian for 3 years here in the county and enjoyed that immensely, and I know how important the libraries are to adults and the kids.
I'm Beth Key, and I'm from Portland, and I retired as a high school librarian. Taught U.S. history for a lot of years and was so grateful and blessed to be able to go into the library at White House and absolutely loved it, and that's where I was happy. I was so happy there, and so excited to get the 9th graders and the upper class as well to use the facility and to find things that would motivate them and be a part of their academics. And I've always loved libraries, always loved reading, and I feel like our public library system is so important and provides so many wonderful services to our community, to the county, and I just am so grateful to be a part of this and hope that I can contribute to continue to improve our wonderful public libraries here in Sumner County.
Beverly Hyde, retired as a school counselor, which sort of has something to do with libraries. But I am an avid reader, and I've spent a lot of time in libraries after retirement with my grandkids. So, like Beth, I'm excited about being on the board and contributing anything I can to make the libraries in Sumner County be the best they can be.
Awesome. My name's Joanna Daniels, and I am new to Sumner County, and I love libraries. My mom was a single parent of 4, and we spent numerous times in the library and learning the Dewey Decimal System and all that. I know, but I loved it actually. So anyways, before moving here, I was on many education board committees in the city that I lived in, and we dealt a lot with the libraries and helped create a lot of community events and things that helped to improve the libraries in the community. So just very excited to be here and give back.
I'm Debbie Martin, and I'm really excited to be on the board and to help any way I can to help children, adults, anyone to be able to pour in to what we have available for them. And I think that's what's so important. I still work, and so that's one of the things that I find joy in, is matching people up with things that they need and want and point them in the right direction. And I think the libraries are excellent sources for that. So, and then a little fun fact, I used to, in elementary school, would help the librarian, so I know that she would be excited to know that I was full circle back helping now.
So I'm Cecilia Maynor. I work for the Red River Regional Library, which is an extension of the state library. So I'm not actually on this board. I come to these boards and give reports and work with the library board members and with the directors and staff sometimes. I have been in the state system since 2013. And before that, I worked as a circulation clerk down in Murfreesboro at the library down there. So that's me.
I'm Beth Popick. I have been volunteering in the libraries for the last 9 years and have then segued into being a part of the board. I love libraries. I've taken my son to the library all his life. And I'm just an avid presenter of information regarding the library too. I work as a school teacher and getting my students in our school involved in the libraries.
I'm April Mangrum. I'm the Director of Libraries for the library system. I have about 17 years of library experience. 2 of those were working for the Hendersonville Library. The rest of those have been working at the Gallatin Public Library or as the system director. And I have my bachelor's in business management and human relations and my master's in library science. Libraries have always been a huge passion of mine because of the magic they bring to the communities, how they connect people with information, how they connect them with books, how they connect them with what they need and network them within each other. I have seen so many ripples of positivity, so many little miracles happen every single day with our libraries and the impacts they've made within the community, and it gives me goosebumps. That's my favorite part of the job, is just seeing how amazing the libraries are and how they reach the communities and provide them with the information, inspiration, and recreation that they need. So, probably want to introduce the directors too.
And I was going to say, we have guests, but I am going to let the directors introduce themselves and tell where they're from and a little bit about themselves. Anita, you get to go first.
I'll go first. My name's Anita Lambert. I am the Portland Library Director and everything there. I've been in the Sumner County Library System for 10 years. I started out as a clerk at Hendersonville Public Library, moved up to supervisor, and then have worked up to director. I've always loved reading to myself too. It's like, that's just the #1 thing. But like April said, you see so many experiences happen every single day in the library, not just the book reading and everything, but helping people with their resumes, helping people get jobs, helping people find information. Every time one of those happens, it's the best part of your job. So
I'm Gabby. I'm from Gallatin. I've been at the Gallatin Library for a little over 7 years. I guess we're telling all of our favorite stuff. I just like seeing the unseen people. I like helping them find resources, the people who are alone, the people who need to be seen. That is the least we can do as human beings, and the library gives us the opportunity to do that.
Hi, I'm Amy Corbett. I am the library manager in Millersville. I've been there 31 days. I have been working in libraries for over 10 years. The last 5 I was at Vanderbilt at the Peabody Library for Education. I have been volunteering in libraries since I was in 6th grade. Libraries have always been a passion, and I think it's because I'm a natural helper. I always go Hufflepuff on all the Harry Potter tests, and I love to help people. I love to be able to find the answers, help people find the resources they need. I mean, there are so many possibilities when you can get the people in the door and you can just help them. Sorry. I like to help people, and the library lets me do that.
All right, my name is Lauren Rigby. I know some of you know me by my married name, but I'm the director at Westmoreland. I've been there for almost 11 months now, and before that I worked in banking. I studied education. In my personal life, I have studied ministry and have a minister's license. I work with church youth and do that in my personal time. In the library, I just love working, especially with the children and the teens. I want to get more teens in there, but also seeing the people that come in that are regulars and getting to know like what books they want and being able to go and say, hey, I got this new book for you. I'm going to reserve it so you can come in later. And just being able to do that, but also reaching out to who needs help.
My My name is Alan Morales. I'm the director or manager, whatever you call, at the Hendersonville Public Library. I have over 30 years of public service. I was a teacher, administrator, worked at district office. Kind of fell into libraries, wasn't intending to do that. Met April, loved her vision for creating and building, and that's my background, is being able to, I was often tagged to go into schools and turn them around, create systems and structures, work with folks. So I love the idea of what we are doing that here. My father instilled in me at a very early age a belief of servant leadership, to give back. You know, my parents were always very grateful for the opportunities that this country gave them. And so it's something that I've tried to give back in my life. And so the libraries have allowed me that opportunity, and so I'm grateful for that.
Thank you for being here. Jim, you don't need an introduction. You love us and we love you. Okay, we'll just keep going around. If anybody wants to introduce themselves, we'd appreciate it.
Okay, well, my name is Amy Eller. I'm not going to tell you how long I've been involved with libraries, because I'm not going to tell my age, but it's been a really long time. Actually, it was my first job when I was still in high school, and of course my mom has also been a retired librarian with elementary school. But we are also friends of the library board in Westmoreland, and we've seen some exciting things happening with our library in Westmoreland and with the ones in the community, and we're here to support our library manager and with the systems growth, because we're excited about things that have been happening lately, and we just want to make sure we can continue with those exciting things. So.
As she said, my name is Gail Eller. I'm a retired school teacher of 31 years, and also I was a librarian at Westmoreland Elementary School for the last 12 and a half years. And also, after retirement, I worked at the Public Library for 15 hours a week, did story time for preschoolers. So, and I'm just glad to be a part. And at one time, I sat in the seats where y'all were sitting. I was trustee.
And so we did, and so we did.
We're sort of
So both of them.
fortunate. Yeah, and we're fortunate to have Lauren with us.
Yes.
We're learning together.
I'm Madeline Lindsay, and I'm on the Friends of the Library with Gallatin, and also volunteer there, doing decorating, shelving books, whatever the staff asks me to do. So I enjoy it very much.
My name is Pat Hires. I'm a retired school teacher from Gallatin High School, and I've been on the library board, and I'm on the Friends board, and we've done so many exciting things, and I'm looking forward to them continuing and seeing what else we can do.
And I'm Deborah Young. I've been a friend of the library on their board probably for 22 plus years, and I'm always excited about the many things that we do that we get to feature in our newsletter and our communication with our friends.
I'm Diane Johnson. I have a financial background, but most recently I was the former director at the Hendersonville Library, and I still keep very much in touch with what's going on in the libraries in Sumner County.
I'm Rose Blind. I'm a book lover from long ago, and I love Libby.
Gail Ellison with the Hendersonville Friends of the Library. We've had some ups and downs, but we're doing great right now, and just delighted to be a part of this organization.
I'm Sharon Watts, and I'm a friend of the library at Hendersonville, and I enjoy reading, and hopefully will be volunteering more.
I'm Fred Pasteur. I'm the treasurer of the Hendersonville Library Friends. I'm a retired state investigator, 39 years experience. My wife Rennie taught me to get it on the board, and I've been on that board for three years, and I've enjoyed it immensely, and it's a real good experience.
Welcome, Mayor Isbell. He was with us last month, so we're glad to see you again. Okay. Now I need a motion to approve the meeting agenda. So the floor is now open if somebody would like to make that motion. Okay, I need a second. Beth, Key made the motion,
Beth Popick, second.
Seconded, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes.
The agenda, you have the new business and then you have the old business. And just, do you have information for the old business? Are we gonna be voting on this stuff today?
It looks like there are more updates and things like that. If you do need information, feel free to ask and we will find some.
Okay.
We're library people. If we don't know the answer, we will find somebody to get it for you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And even the Gallatin Friends of the Library request, and that I didn't see any information for that.
And we do have a representative if we need to, and we've got Gabby, so we can find that information out.
Okay.
And that sort of thing. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So the approval of the meeting agenda passed. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of September the 14th. I have a copy. Did you all get copies? Okay. Because I've got a couple extras. We can get them to you if you need them. If you want to look at them real quick, any questions or anything you'd like to bring to the floor, we'll be glad to talk about. Okay. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the September 14th meeting.
I motion to approve the minutes of the September 14th meeting.
That topic. Any second?
Second.
Okay. Anita Ellis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, now we'll move on to the new business. The first major order of business, we do have to select the chairperson for this board. If anybody wants to volunteer for the role, you're welcome to do so. If not, I will entertain motions from the floor.
And apologies for the agenda, that is my doing because we didn't have a chairman for this time. I had to throw together an agenda,
Right.
so if it is out of order, not as detailed, sorry about that. Normally, it's the chairman's responsibility to put the agenda together and get all that done.
So thank you for that.
My
explanation.
apologies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do I hear a nomination from the floor?
I would love for Jackie Wilbur to be the chairperson of the board.
Somebody's going to have to hold my hand and lead me down that path if that's what you'd like. So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So I guess you can't put substitute chairman anymore, like you did on the last set of minutes. Thank you, but like I say, I'm going to be depending on a lot of help to do this, especially trying to get all the information together to put an agenda together. Okay, now I need a vice chair, and it's very important, and you've got to step in at the last moment. I haven't looked at my calendar, but I'm not sure if March I might be out of town. I might be on a trip, so we'll need somebody to step in real quick for that. I'm not absolutely sure, but
I have a question.
Yes.
I apologize, I did not bring the bylaws, but what is the duties of the vice chairman?
In the event of the absence of the chair.
Right.
Of a vacancy in that office between elections shall assume and perform the duties and functions of the chair.
Okay, thank you. I was like, I forgot to bring it.
Got you covered.
Are we okay now?
Mhm.
Okay. I will entertain a motion for vice chair, or if somebody's interested, you can speak up there again. And I know y'all are scared, and it's a learning process, and it really is. But it's a small crowd. Beth, would you Beth?
I would love to. I'm just concerned that the county commission will not go forward and renew my position on the library board, since they don't seem to be renewing anyone's positions, and January my name comes up in front of them. So I would love to be the vice chairman, but I'm afraid that when it goes to the commission on commission, that my name will not go ahead and be brought to the chair people. So
you've got experience, you've volunteered in the Gallatin Library. I would love to have you help me.
I would love to help
very
you.
much. So I don't think I could make that motion. So if somebody else would like to, or somebody else would like to step up and do it, I will have to, I'll
I'm gonna nominate Beth
Okay.
for vice chair.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we will submit your name to the Committee on Committees as soon as we can, because you do roll off in January.
Correct.
And just say that you've got a lot of good experience. You're a very good supporter and a very positive role model to your students and to the patrons of the Gallatin Library. And that's all we can do. But if not, we'll drop back and punt. So, Okay. Now, selection of a secretary. And that, basically, they can take notes when Susie's not here, but they also, if there's correspondence that we need to do, invitations for events and thank you notes for people that have done things for us, that kind of correspondence is what we need a secretary for. So,
And sending things out to the board.
right, yeah, you
rather
can
than
send.
being from me.
Right, yeah, you can. We will get county emails that all work, hopefully, and they could go out as an email as well. You wouldn't have to handwrite and do it. Is there anybody that would like to serve in that capacity?
Anita, you would do a fine job.
No, thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
So. Well, librarians are good at communication. We have to be, and all. So it would be nice, but I do need somebody.
It wasn't very stressful. I was the secretary before, so it wasn't a very.
It's not real stressful at all. So if you would like to jump in off the diving board into the deep end for something like that, it could be done. We could
I feel like everybody's going to nut it.
We could draw straws and short straw wins.
Well, like for example, Bruce and Ann are not here.
That's true. Bruce and Ann are not here.
And does that mean that they cannot?
I think we got
Nominate them.
They're not here.
Nominate those who didn't show up.
Yeah, in your own defense, you need to be here. Would you be opposed to, with the secretary position, waiting until January?
I would be.
Would that be okay to
That would
defer
allow
to
them.
January? And then see if we can have a secretary, and somebody else may think about it and decide that's what they would like to do as well. You want to put this, can somebody put that in the form of a motion, and we'll.
I motion that we defer picking the secretary until the January meeting.
Okay. Do I hear a second? Okay, I have Joanna Daniels second. I tried to say Diana because I got the D mixed up. But Joanna Daniels seconded for that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now, The next thing is the Gallatin Friends of the Library request. So, April, do you have that request, or is Gabby going to?
Gabby's going to be able to tell you more about it.
Okay.
The Gallatin Friends of the Library have been tremendous throughout the years in helping with supporting a lot of different things and getting special fundraising for lots of different things, including capital things like taking down walls that need to be taken down, or building up walls that need to be put up so we could have additional meeting space or floor space. And they've just been phenomenal through the years. This past year, a very dear employee who had been with the libraries for years and years passed away while being in the job. Her name is Mildred Cornwell. A lot of people in the community knew her, and she was just a wonderful, wonderful human being. There have been a lot of donations in her memory and in her honor, and the Friends of the Library would like to utilize those funds to do something special for the staff that would also help benefit the library. And in honor of Mildred, they would like to build a wall that is in the back expansion area that would help provide additional meeting space and silence so that people can professionally meet on one side, and actually provide a proper lunchroom for the staff on the other side. We're actually using old bookshelves to divide it right now. Bookshelves come in handy for everything. You use various pieces of furniture. But it's not very soundproof, and people who are trying to have their meetings in the large conference space often get interrupted by conversation or microwave going off. And of course, staff don't really have the opportunity to have their privacy during their lunch time, and that was something they thought would be a really good memorial to Mildred. She ate her lunch in there every single day, and she would chat on the phone all the time. She was one of the worst offenders to annoying the people on the other side of the curtain. But she was wonderful. They are offering to fully fund that. Gabby has the more in-depth details. That's just a flyover.
Millie was one of the core people in our library, and she showed all of us how to be better human beings and to see the good in every single human being that walked in the door. It was a huge loss to our building. We're still recovering from it. But not only did she support our library guests, but she supported all of the staff. Whenever anybody needed anybody, we went and found her, and we went to the lunchroom and we fixed things. And sometimes maybe bothered meeting room people that were borrowing our meeting rooms. But because she's such an incredible human being, we had a lot of donations over the last year. And our friends asked us to think of a big project. And we thought Millie would get a kick out of actually making that a real staff area that we could have volunteers come in and board members and staff and actually have a meeting space that wasn't in the public and that didn't interrupt our day-to-day programs. Because our building was built by Curtis Construction, we always go to them first to get bids on any sort of renovations within the building because they know it better than anybody, and it's a company that's still owned by the same family since our building was built. And they came in and gave us a quote. The Friends approved to spend that money, but we need y'all's permission to alter our building. It will not cost the county anything. It will be an asset to our library and help us better serve our guests and our staff so that they can be better at their jobs.
Gabby, is this the room upstairs, which was known as Millie's bingo room?
Well, it will be separating Millie's bingo room from where we have lunch.
So just to give everyone an overview, upstairs in that library, there was an unfinished space and has been used for multiple things. Teens had used it, the lunchroom's up there, there's a big open space up there, and you can hear everything from one end to the other. So I know because I'm always up there doing stuff with different people, and it would just improve not only the help for the employees, but it would also improve the function of that upstairs room so that multiple people can use it.
Groups use that, like the Kiwanis group and just different organizations, Non, and they deserve silence. But occasionally we need a little space too. And it would just finish the space that was used originally as just storage.
Just out of curiosity, does it go all the way
Yes.
up?
Yeah, and we'll still have 2 exits out of the room, one into the hallway and janitors closet, and one out into the regular building. So we'll still meet all of the codes. But yes, floor to ceiling, closing the room off.
I think it also makes it much safer, especially if there were, God forbid, a fire, because it would block off part of it where it would be 2 separate rooms versus one big giant room that could definitely spread quicker. So safety, and then the way that it's blocked off now, it's not as safe as it could be.
And it's also patron access.
Yes.
If people are in that one room, they can walk straight into private areas. of the
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll entertain.
I would love to motion that we have the ability to allow the Gallatin Library through the Friends to put in that wall to separate that upstairs room.
Especially in memoriam.
Yes, especially in memoriam to Millie.
Can I ask a really simple question?
Yes.
I apologize. So it's fully funded by the Friends?
Yes.
So, okay.
100%.
Yes, it will not cost. It will not come from the county funds.
I would love to second that.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Moving right along. And congratulations, and I will come see it when it's finished.
It'll be pretty.
Okay.
Probably do a ceremony for it.
Yes,
What made us?
a ribbon cutting or something like that.
There'll probably be
yeah.
some sort of ceremony for
And lots of
it.
tears.
And lots of tears. Millie was a really special name.
And that was her space up there, definitely.
Okay. Moving on to Portland's 75th anniversary,
So I'll give you a little bitty bit of information.
and then we'll let Anita pick up from there.
So Portland Library just did a little digging and discovered that this year is actually their 75th anniversary. And so they are having a celebration in December. So they've got invites for everyone, and if you will just find yours, take one down, pass it around. They are planning a huge big shindig, and it's going to be really exciting, and lots of pictures and memories and just wonderful things. Their staff has got so much planned for this event, and I'm so excited about it. So, Anita, anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I mean, basically I wanted to find out some more history about Portland's library after just taking over as director and everything. So I had Paula Shannon, who is our history museum person, do some research on it. And when she gave me the information, there were some pictures in there of a 50th anniversary. And I looked down at the date and it said 1997. And I'm like, 97, 2020. That's 25. We're 75 years, you know. So actually our official date was 3 days ago, November the 6th, 1947, was when books actually got brought to Portland City Hall to be checked out by the community and everything. So yes, we are at 75 years, and I knew I couldn't do it by November the 6th. It was just out of the question. So I picked December the 30th, which is a Friday. I'm kind of hoping it's between 2 holidays when people can come. I'm sending out letters to Secretary of State Trey Hargett, the librarian John Ritter, I think. James Ritter, yeah. So Sid's got one also. I'm also sending out to Senator Hale, Representative William Lambert, a couple of the other dignitaries and everything, and asking them to come and speak. But as soon as we talked about it, my staff just jumped all over it. They just thought it was the most amazing thing. Gabby has already made buttons. If anybody would like a button, I have plenty of buttons to pass around. So yes, but we are planning on having a reception from 3 to 7 with our dignitaries speaking at 5 o'clock. And we would love for each and every one of you to come. Thank you.
And Beth Key and I will remember when the Portland Library was a little almost basement from I don't remember the city hall, but I remember it was a little basement in a little room that you had to work. You had to work very hard. I remember
it has moved several times. It's been over a grocery store. It's been in a back alley. It's been in a basement. But yes, it's.
And,
yeah.
and I'm hoping that Paula can find pictures so we can see.
We are putting together a whole
Where we
slideshow.
have-
And my goal is, because it's supposedly the diamond anniversary, so I've got little cutouts of diamonds, and I've put across the top precious memories of our library. And we're going to have all of our patrons fill out something, both children, adults. My main thing that would just make me so happy and everything would be if we have pictures from a long time ago of children, and the adult version of them sees it in those pictures. I think that would just be amazing. Yeah. So.
I think that's just a public service announcement.
It's
I
just
don't think we'll have to.
Nothing to vote on,
that at all.
just new business that we just discovered, and
Yes.
very exciting.
And wanted to celebrate. Okay, moving on to old business. An update on Gallatin's flooring issue.
So to catch you up on Gallatin's flooring issue, whenever the Gallatin Public Library was built 15 years ago, the flooring was rolled out as giant pieces of carpet all throughout the different sections of the library instead of planks or squares. And through the years of lots of wear and tear, literally, it has buckled and bumped, and it's really a safety hazard at this point, especially in certain spaces. So we've been back and forth with, we had it in our capital expenses request for last year, as well as painting and getting fresh things. Some of the other things that had been in the capital expense for last year was like $75,000 to clean the front of the building, because the front of it has sandstone, it's very porous, it had not been sealed, it was pretty bad. There was a company that came in and did it for free. It was incredible. They completely did it for us. So we tried to ask to use the capital expenses that were earmarked for that to go to carpet. And it was one of those things that was during all sorts of chaos with closing the end of the year and opening the new year and everything. So it ended up, we had the funds available, we still have funds available, but it's in a different accounting line or something with the capital expenses. The flooring is still an issue, it's not getting any better, they're working on it. But we have been talking with the county's office, and they just did a bid for flooring for this county building, and they had said they were going to put the library on the county flooring bidding, but the flooring bid that they had was for laminate, and they've got one for carpet coming up later in the year. And correct me if I'm getting into the details. Okay. So they're going to be putting in a second bid later this year that will involve carpet, and they're going to include the libraries in that bid, so that we can hopefully get something better. At this point, we don't care if it's laminate, carpet, or whatever, as long as it's something that's going to be safe, it's going to last, it's no longer dangerous, and no longer unsightly. So it's one of those things that it is still in the book, still earmarked for the libraries, and we're just waiting for the county bid so that we can piggyback on that and hopefully get a really good rate by joining with the county administration building for theirs.
And how much did we have for that set aside that you remember?
It was either $50,000 or $75,000, I don't remember. It will not be enough to cover the entire building. We want to address the most important parts, which are upstairs, where it is the most dangerous, and like the children's area, where it has the most wear. And if it means the staff areas don't get it, then okay, the staff areas don't get it. We can walk on old nasty carpet. It's okay. And then putting in for capital expenses in the future, or hopefully being able to save up through foundations or grants to be able to help cover some of the others. But taking care of the problem areas up front as quickly as we possibly can.
Joanna, you had a question? Or
yes,
a comment?
I was just curious, where is this in the budget?
It would be under the capital expenses. That would not be under a budget. And I do have to apologize. I normally bring budgets for the libraries, and I cannot print those today, so I will email all those out to you for library budgets. It's not even going to show on that. It's in the capital expenses, and for the county's budget. And I don't remember if it was under the county.
It's on the county executive.
County executives line, but Gabby's been talking with Kim. What's her name? Norfleet. in regards to that. So it is earmarked for that.
And also the facilities committee, when they did the inspection of all, that was one of the considerations that needed to be done. So it was something that was seen to be
it's beyond
very
unsightly.
important. Yes.
It is
It's
dangerous at this
unsafe.
point.
Yes.
Any other questions on that?
So do we need a motion to request that, or is that just a?
No, it's just an
update.
on where we
Okay.
are.
Okay. Okay. So moving on, we're gonna look at the update on MOE, and I know acronyms are one of the things that, drive people crazy that are new. Maintenance of effort is what MOE stands for. I will let April or Cecilia explain that a little more. It falls under the umbrella of the state libraries. It's a requirement and something that we have to address every year. So I'll let Cecilia or April, either one, go into a little more detail with that.
So the maintenance of effort agreement is one that we have to, it's an agreement we have with the region and with the state. And it's agreement between them and the county and the cities and everybody who gives funding, basically, not including nonprofits like the Friends of the Library, of course. But they say that they will continue to give us the funding that they gave us the previous year or more. And the one that it's something that comes out August, September each year. It's due no later than October. This year we got all the signatures, got it turned in, got it sent in. It is ready to be filed. And then there was a calculation error that was caught because the books had not, it was late September before the books for the previous fiscal year actually got closed this year. Normally that happens a lot earlier. So because there was a miscalculation on that front, we needed to tweak that. So I have verified with finance that these are the correct numbers, and we've gone through and I've gotten the county mayor's signature. We're getting multiple city signatures at this point. We only lack Hendersonville, Westmoreland, and yours now that you are the chairman. And it is just in it saying this is the amount of money that we have given, this is what we have budgeted, and with the calculation error, we had accidentally had the previous county mayor sign off on a little too much, and so we were glad we caught this, and this is actually the corrected amount.
I'm correcting this.
Oh, I missed them.
So you are.
Oh, no, yeah, thank you. You got it.
I
Okay.
got it.
Sorry, misspellings are my fault. So the amount that the county appropriates is $2,517,790. The amount that the cities total appropriate is $117,000. So total, our budget is just over $2.6 million. With that, we save the community a little over, at this point, $6 million each year with all the services and materials and things that we provide. So you get a lot of bang for your buck with the libraries. So that's an update, and
what
there's
about
a sign of that.
amount that the state actually?
The state
actually.
So the state provides, in addition to trainings out the wazoo, which we are so thankful for because it helps us keep our employees up to date and current and make sure that we are staying relevant. In addition to a ton of trainings, they also give us several thousand, over 10,000, I'm not sure.
I have the numbers
dollars that we get to spend on additionally for our library materials and books. And then honestly, my favorite thing, the greatest thing, is the READS, is in acronyms, I'm sorry, libraries are full of them. The Regional Ebook and Audiobook Download System, READS, and it's Libby, for those who use ebooks and audiobooks. They provide hundreds upon thousands of free ebooks to our community that everybody gets to check out, and there's no way we could ever afford even a
drop in that bucket.
drop in that bucket. No, not at all. So we do have some of our own individual ebooks as well, to try to catch some of those high demand titles. But majority of our ebook circulation, which I've got roughly here, hang on. Yeah, we loan about nearly 20,000 electronic materials are loaned each month. And majority of those come through the state's ebook system, which is incredible.
I'm a huge fan.
And then the Tennessee Electronic Library
Library.
also, which is a plethora of resources for homework help and job help and ancestry research and language learning. And you want to learn it, you want to know it, they've got it. And that is such a gift to be able to be part of Tennessee. It's such an amazing thing that the state provides for us. So we get to have all of those goody things because we signed this paper. That's what this is. And once it is all officially signed, I will have a scanned copy that I'll send to everybody for your records, and it'll be mailed to Cecilia, and she will file it with the state.
That was my question.
Okay.
You answered it.
Oh, perfect. Any other questions?
Cecile, do you have anything to?
No, I think she covered it well.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, I mean, you think about a simple signature, a set of signatures, but what's behind it is phenomenal. And I'm a huge fan of Libby. Love it, love it, love it. All you have to do is have a library card, and you can search and read. And I'm a patron of the library, and I love the libraries, and I love the people, but I also love having my Kindle and getting to drop it right in there and read it whenever I want to.
Also the plug, I love Libby, love it.
Yes.
But I was booked for my book club, whatever, and it was like 24 weeks. Portland had it on the shelf. It was amazing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So either way you want to go,
That's right.
it's wonderful.
One or the other.
Right.
Joanna wanted to say something.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have a question. So the county, they approved $2.5 million, and the city is $117,000. And then, do we have a breakdown of how the money's spent? Like when is that given out?
So during budget time, we have to break it all out, and what we operate regularly on is a county budget, and those are the pages that I forgot to print today, which would be a whole nother packet about this thick, so I will email it to you.
Okay.
And we had originally asked for our budget to be able to be consolidated so that it would only be about 60 to 80 codes for everything, so that we could have it and use this code to pay for this for each library. The Finance Department and the Budget Committee preferred to have it divided out into 6 different budgets. So we have one for every library plus a consolidated system budget. That means we have to work with nearly 300 codes, which is a lot of work. But you can see to the letter everywhere it goes. And while we're on that topic, we can skip over some other things I was going to bring up, if you don't mind. Before new administration, it was the finance department would make transfers as long as it's under 5,000 or so. They would make transfers from library to library, location to location, within the system, wherever it was needed, whenever we made the request. That's something that has changed, and so now anytime there is a request for any type of transfer from a library to library, even though we're all one single department, it is multiple locations, and so now we do have to go to every budget committee meeting. So we were here till 10:30 the other night, just in case they have any questions or anything, just to explain why we're transferring. This past one, we had gotten system pricing for membership, but whenever they billed us individually, even though it's at the system discount, so we had to transfer money from the system account into the individual accounts, and that was it. And because Westmoreland had a laminator that broke, and they needed $60 to go buy a new one. So It's just a little different way than what we're accustomed to doing, but we are adapting. We're meeting next week to go line by line with all of our budgets and figure out what transfers we're going to need to make on a bigger front, and that way we can have a big transfer request next month. And hopefully we don't have anybody not getting paid like they currently are as far as travel goes, because everything is put in the system account, and we were told to use the system account, and then whenever it actually came time to do it, individual library employees were supposed to come out of individual library employees. So there have been, throughout the past few months, there have been a lot of definition changes, and we're trying to change with that. But it's just, and that's also partially why it's a little confusing. It's 6 different budgets that we do consolidate into one. We are one department, but it does break out into 6 different budgets, which is nearly 300 codes. I think it's slightly less now that we don't have to deal with ARPA, but that's, I'm sorry, that might have been a little too long or too much, but did that answer your question?
So, so you said in the last few months you've been doing a lot of new definitions because of...
We haven't. The finance department.
Finance department, okay.
They've changed a few things throughout the past few months, so we're just adapting to what their requests are.
Meaning the finance department, meaning the county commissioners?
I think they may have, there've been a lot of definition changes in just the way they've been, new people come in and they've made changes and they've done things, so we're just going along with what government asks. But we're being told by the finance department, they're our liaisons for everything as far as finance goes. So we're being told by them that there's a new process, and so that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know if it was officially a county commission thing or what. I just know finance is telling us to do it this way now, so that's what we're doing.
But it's not steak, like steak is not, okay.
No.
So
No, we're all under one department as far as the state's concerned.
It's kind of like school boards, you know, you've got, what, 40-something schools, and everybody has their own, but it's a big umbrella, so, you know.
So
and
when it, oh, sorry, go ahead.
And library, you know, like I got so much money in my library account from the county, so much per child, that I had to spend from that account. But then my individual school, with fundraisers, we had an account. It's kind of that thing where you had to, you know, you just had to know where the teeters were and how to spend it the correct, like, and you had to know what to get bids for in a library and what you could spend without getting bids for and that sort of thing.
Okay. And so the MOE, the funding, then each library director knows what it is that they need, and they come up with the budget for the MOE and how to spend it, correct?
We work together on that, yes.
Okay.
And we're maintaining the amount in the MOE, and the MOE, even before we were officially system, it was always the same, like here's the bottom line for all 5 libraries, because we've always been governed by the same library board, so they've always considered it in that way. That part didn't change, so as long as the baseline number that the county provides and the individual cities provides doesn't change or doesn't go lower, it can always go higher, but as long as it doesn't go lower, then it's status quo, and that can be more in one library and less than another library from year to year, depending on our needs. Westmoreland this past year, desperately needed to have their circulation desk removed because it took up so much of their square footage that they couldn't operate, and they could squeeze 2 people in it. So we chipped in, and everybody put in a little bit from their budget so that they could afford furniture to be able to take out that old desk and put in a brand new one, and it has opened up the floor so much. It's been tremendous. So there's an ebb and flow. Sometimes there are bigger needs, sometimes there are lower needs, but we have that ability.
In other words, you're just having to get it amended if you've got to change something from one to the other.
Precisely, and we made a rough estimate to begin with, and so now we have a better idea of what we're going to be needing now that we're more into the year. So we'll just need to make a few adjustments here and there, but it's nothing. We're not asking for any more money. We never have. We haven't asked for anything else. We didn't get any new money from last year aside from what the county deemed for salary survey adjustments across the board for all county departments. But we didn't ask for any additional funds, and we've been very happy with what we get. We're utilizing it better than ever. It's great. So.
And I have to say that that was one of the things that impressed me so is somebody would say, well, you know, we've got some extra shelves here in Gallatin, and Westmoreland would say, well, we need some shelves, and they would just give it to them. And, or books or whatever, you know, that they had, if they didn't use it, they would share with whatever they had. And I thought, this is wonderful, because I just don't see that all the time. And I think it's neat. So, okay, moving right along. I'm
It's
not
just
doing
an
as well as I did last time.
Update on Hendersonville's additional hours. Alan and I have been back and forth with the city of Hendersonville's mayor. The city of Hendersonville is wanting to give us more money so that we can extend our hours at that location. Hopefully be open on Fridays, because that is really what the community really wants. We've also played around with the schedule. We've come up with some different options and possibilities. And it's a project that we've really gotten going, but we're temporarily putting it on hold, kind of pinning it just for a little bit until we kind of figure out more of what that agreement will need to look like and what the county expectations are and what they would like to see happen and the city. So for the moment, it's just temporarily suspended. So
Go ahead, Joanna.
So how much money are they wanting to give you guys?
$20,000.
$20,000. And this has already been approved, correct?
No.
Approved by who?
By the city, by the mayor, by Loma.
It had been a year ago, but not presently, so he would have to go back and get that approval. So again, we're in the present, we just started negotiations with it, but we started getting the ball rolling and then realized we need to put the brakes on for a little bit. Let's pin it and let's get to know our new commissioners a little bit better, get to know our new city people a little bit better, and let's see what the future holds for the libraries and see what they are wanting. But the community does really want Fridays. They have for a long time.
So just to clarify, they approved $20,000, but then you guys didn't take it, and so it went back to the city, and now you're asking for the $20,000 again?
No, they never granted it.
Oh,
They never gave it. They bookmarked it in their books, but they never gave it.
Okay, so you don't know if it's still bookmarked or not?
We've had these conversations with the mayor, and
Okay.
he believes that it would be, but yeah.
Okay.
It still has to be voted on by
There's a lot of
board of
processes
mayor
with
and
it.
aldermen there.
Okay.
It also has to be approved by the finance committee here as well as the commission. So it's one of those things that, and if you take the money, there's got to be some kind of an agreement, because, you know, Hendersonville's given the money. Do they get to say, you know, who gets to say
What
how
the
that
hours are
money
gonna
is
be, how
spent?
long,
So
what we're
there
gonna
has
be able
to
to do with
be,
it. And majority, the biggest expense, are people and being able to shift their schedules around and adjust. Because we can't just hire somebody to, a whole team of just Friday people. Then they would be disconnected with everybody else. So we've been working with the staff, and they're excited about the idea, and we can, about the different possibilities. But like I said, for the moment, it's being put on the shelf. We're gonna come back to it. We're gonna revisit that probably once we get a little bit more comfortable into the budget year. So hopefully maybe next year.
To clarify, there was an offer made. It wasn't clearly stipulated what they wanted in return. We sat down with the mayor and looked at some different scenarios of what that would look like, and if they additionally wanted more, if they were thinking that was going to provide, then the cost with that. So they're working to finalize what they would like to see, and we're trying to work with them and give them an accurate picture of what that would cost and entail on our part.
Okay.
Okay.
moving right along. Okay, reports from the Personnel Committee. The only thing we have going right now is to fill Beth's, or renew Beth's appointment. And at the moment, she is the only Gallatin representative that we have, and our bylaws are outlined to have 2 people from Portland, 2 from Gallatin, 2 from Hendersonville, 1 from Westmoreland, 1 from Millersville, and then 3 at-large people. And at the moment, we don't have that balance. So we need somebody from Gallatin. and Beth is the obvious choice, and we have already made that motion, so we will send that as a request to the Committee on Committees, and then it will go from the Committee on Committees, whatever they decide, to the floor. Yes.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, how many do we have right now?
11.
Oh,
11.
we have, and 11 is it's the maximum that we can have.
Okay.
We went from 9 to 11 in 19.
Just recently.
Yeah, but it was before COVID. So I'm thinking
Yeah,
19,
19.
19. We went from 9 to 11. So we could get more at-large, we had the guidelines for representation from all the county. Then we needed more at-large just because we wanted to divide up in committees. You'd have people serving on, with 9 it was hard to get. Now with 11, we do have more committees and that sort of thing and we're not working people to death and that sort of thing. So we do have a process, and I don't want to get, but for years, nobody wanted to serve on this committee. It was hard to find. When the person I replaced, her husband developed Alzheimer's, and she wanted to come off, and she was basically told, you've got to find somebody to take your place. And she was from Portland, so she chose me, and I agreed, and that sort of thing. And we had 2 or 3 others that just happened because, you were begging people and they wouldn't come. So as we formed a personnel committee, we decided we wanted to look for a little more diversity. We wanted to look for people. We're a little overloaded with education and librarians, which is great, but you do need new eyes, different eyes sometimes. So we developed an application process. We put it on the website, and we had people that were actually interested and excited, and they applied. And I have a book of people that have been interested and that sort of thing. And I got one on my email just the other day that I have not had time to print off. So we do have a process now, and we interview those people, and we look at what our needs are, what they can bring to the table, and that's how we make our recommendations now. Because we have gone through the process and we saw that need, that we didn't need to just make somebody pick their successor, that there were people out there now that were really excited to serve. So we did that. I do have these, like I said, I got one on my email yesterday that I will add to this. And that's how we go about trying to find people to serve now. And so the last, Bruce and Ann went through the process. They're not here, but they can tell you just how different it was from how we selected people before. And that's the process now. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Go ahead, Joanna.
Yes, so question about the process.
Yes.
How did you come up with the process? And to my knowledge, the commissioners are the ones that appoint the board trustees. So my question is, how did you come up with these bylaws when it kind of goes in conflict?
Well, they've always requested. It was in the past. We've had a county. Larry Hinton served on this board as a county commissioner. Sean Utley served on this board as a former county commissioner. So there was but they have always said, who do you want? We want somebody that supports libraries. Who do you know out there, that supports libraries? So, and then once we recommended, if there were somebody from the area, like you had a commissioner that could say, yeah, I know her, and that sort of thing, that could vouch for you, then most of the time they were in agreement to do that. And that's just the way they felt like that if you had somebody excited and somebody that had a little knowledge about libraries, that they would go along with what was happening. And that was the way we operated. But, we have always understood that it was a request that had to be voted on.
And before the previous administration, and in all the years I've been with the system for over 15 years, and they've never once asked or cared or wanted to know who was on the board, to be honest. The board used to show up and just eat cake and not do much. And then over the past about 3 years, we've developed more and more and become more of a governing body, or they have, I'm not a board member obviously, but the process was taken from the state with going to other library boards and seeing how they do their bylaws and how other library boards operate. And it was based upon the state's recommendations and trainings, which you guys will go through as trustees, which I know, Cecilia, I don't want to jump on your thing there.
I mean, I can talk a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
I think what they're explaining is correct, and what we see in libraries. Most library boards kind of have the same type of process that they described used to be here, where you have a friend or someone in Chamber of Commerce or your church, or some, and then you just ask that person and say, you want to be on the board, and everyone is happy because you have a person to be on the board, that kind of stuff. So, and things are obviously changing. The law has always been that this is a county commission they appoint, but usually, like they describe, it's they're very happy to have a name. So whoever you recommend to us, we'll basically take them. But the problem with that was that we would see that the library board would be they wouldn't be very diverse. So it would be friends of friends of friends. We would all be friends, just it wouldn't really represent the community. So a few years ago, we started looking at best practices for boards to expand their memberships basically, and reach out to communities that might not ever think about being on a board. Some library boards have now started to do this kind of application process where they post it on social media, put it in the newspaper. So we're looking for board members. Would you be interested in that? So they have that. So they take an application. This is something they do in Clarksville as well. And then the board kind of goes through and say, well, these people, these are the ones that we would like to nominate, and then you send them to the county commissioner, the county commission, and they take it or they don't. I mean, that's up to them. And that's I think they were trying to meet a need to make it a more diverse board, basically, and also, I think also now with expanding the number, you definitely need that, and you need people that are willing to serve on committees. It's a lot of work to be on the library board.
So basically, what we see our role is doing the legwork as far as, sifting through the applications, because we could I got 17 the last time, and send it all out there, and somebody's gonna have to do that, and it's not gonna be HR, because HR doesn't, it would have to go to 24 commissioners, they would have to meet, they would have to, so we just felt like, as this board, we could do that kind of legwork, and then, like I say, recommend, and see where it went from there. Okay. All right, April.
Normally our meetings end at 5 whenever we're here, because the guy comes to kick us out, so we're going to let him know that it's going to be a little bit later tonight.
Right.
Sorry.
I made it at 35 last week.
It's okay. So we don't have to block out this many hours typically, but we do have a lot to cover this time, and I apologize. Yes,
I was going to ask if, because I have some more questions about the bylaws. Next meeting, can we have a little time, because I know we're pushed. She's got to do things. Granddaughter's got a concert. So I'm supposed to get back. But I would like to ask some questions, and if that's okay.
Oh yeah, that's and we could
do
even,
that.
if you wanted to, we could have a special called meeting and advertise it and all that, and do a work study just on the bylaws, if that would be something you would be interested in.
It would help me as a new board member.
Cecilia, would you
I
have
think
some
that's a good
time
idea.
that you could come and meet with us?
I think it's a great idea just in general that you review the bylaws at least once a year.
Because I've read them, and there are parts of it that jump out at you that you deal with all the time, and then there are parts of it that are well hidden in there that, unless you bring it back up to the table, it's, you tend to forget that. Like, we know about how we wanted the representation distributed. That's on the forefront of our mind. But sometimes when you think about dress code for libraries or something like that that's in the bylaws, we don't think about that a whole lot. So we could do, a policy work study.
I like that.
And,
I'm still
But I
in a
think that'll
learning
help
curve.
Yes,
catch you up
and
on a lot.
And I'm thinking, you learn something new every day. Every day's a school day. So, even though we've been here, we still have, there's still a lot to learn and a lot, that sort of thing.
Is there a date you're thinking of?
I hate December. I
So
don't
maybe you
hate
guys can
December,
send
but
out some emails and try to pin down some
yeah.
dates.
If I could just send out kind of an email, and I have to check with Ramona and the schedule and get it on the website and advertise it as well. So we may could come back in January, first of the year, and look at dates even then. If you and if you've got copies of the bylaws, and I do have a quick question, and then I'm going to let you talk. Do we need to get a list of those dates and submit those to?
Yes.
We need to get a list of those dates that
For
we will
next
be
year.
meeting next
Yeah.
year. Get that calendar.
And get this room.
set.
That would be in the gym.
And so you may have to help me do that.
Yeah, next agenda.
Right.
we need to set calendars.
Set the calendar for all the dates and make sure we can get this this room, make sure it's on the calendar.
Unless you guys want to start going to
Unless-
the libraries again.
Right.
They used to go to every library.
It was a
But
wonderful
you guys can
experience.
discuss.
Yeah,
that,
we can
so.
talk about, but we can see if we can get this room for January for sure and meet. And then see if they will still let us have this room.
Hey Jack,
Oh, nice.
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you talking about the bylaws, or are you talking about the bylaws and the policies?
Just
Because
the
it sounds like
bylaws, I think,
Let's
would be
just
best.
do bylaws
just
first.
the bylaws, so you're not
Yes.
talking about any type of, okay.
No,
Yeah,
not
just wanna
no,
make sure,
policy,
But
just-
that was
just
when I pulled,
bylaws.
that was when I said dress code, that kind of pulled
Okay, good,
out.
'cause yeah,
But we have had to look at those things as well. So,
Okay.
yeah, those come up every once in a while.
that's a great idea.
Joanna?
Aren't we already meeting January 11th?
Yes,
Okay.
we do the second Wednesday
Yeah.
every other month. So but we do have to submit those dates
Okay.
Yeah.
and make sure that we can get this room and that they advertise it in a timely fashion according to the sunshine laws.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so we're not looking at a time, because we'd like to have the work session before January.
before
11th.
January.
Is
Okay.
that possible? Is that possible, so that we
Well,
can look at the
you tell,
bylaws?
December is a very, very hard month to get people together. So, what do you think? Looking at,
And so, and
You
especially
know.
since you've got people not here, it might be best just to send some emails back and forth and try to pin down a date.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I was
And-
thinking like the first week in December would probably be the best for me, because it's right after, but you tell me. Yeah, we can send some emails back. I think once you get past the first
and
week.
y'all did give me, I won't get a copy of that or copy of those. And a lot of you don't have a county email yet.
Yeah, we'll have to get you set up with county
We'll have to get you
emails
set
and
up
all
with a
of that.
county email.
I know they're gonna have to go with you, Cecilia, to do the individual
Yeah, we definitely,
orientation.
yeah, we'll do that too.
So there's a lot of steps to getting onboarded with being on the board.
Right.
And so it's just a difficult time of year for starting that. But a lot of these questions that you guys have would normally be covered with her orientation or would be covered by the chairman meeting with you guys. So it's just we're in an odd situation this time.
Now, I am, what time of the day, is 3:30 a good time of the day? I guess we could start with, is 3:30 a good time of the day?
I thought that our meetings were at 1:30, but then I got the meeting that's at 3:30, and.
Our meetings have been at 3:30 for the last almost 2 years.
Before COVID, we
Before
did meet
COVID.
at 1:30,
The,
but,
okay.
you
the
know.
bylaws say
The
1:30.
bylaws say at 1:30, that's what I'm going,
So-
I'm so
Right,
confused
yeah.
right now, what's going on?
We did move that to 3, we had Beth that was teaching
It's a good idea to review. the bylaws.
when I was teaching. Thankfully, I had a wonderful administrator that allowed me to work my schedule so I could be here.
We're just, is it just the three of us that
Well, we
need
have
that?
2 more
Okay.
that are gonna be replaced,
So-
plus Beth. if Beth is not renewed, we would have another one.
Okay.
So
So
you
you're
guys,
talking-
you're just talking about the new people?
No, I
You're
think
on the
everyone
whole-
needs to
Everybody. Yeah.
review this.
And
Could you not just put it
I
on
think
the
that
agenda?
it would be, Cecilia can meet with just the three of you.
Yeah.
But for me to meet with you all, we'd have to advertise it,
Gotcha.
and it would have to be for
I
everybody.
understand that. I was thinking in terms.
So it just, it just depends on
Could
how
not-
you word it.
Could you not just put the bylaws review as on the agenda for the January meeting?
We could do like a brief review in January, just
Or
hit,
you could
you all
spend-
bring me your questions.
Yeah,
Bring
okay,
us your
yeah.
questions and do a brief thing, and then we could set up a work study to go more in depth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
that's great.
And you have the bylaws in your.
I do,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, Brenda.
I've been looking at this.
Yeah.
It's scary sometimes, Like I say, we do need to update from 1:30 to 3:30, because if we wanted diversity and we wanted more business people, like, well, Bruce is retired, but you think about business people that you want to bring to the table, 3:30 was a little bit better
Yeah, I agree.
to do. So, yeah, that was a vote, and it's in the minutes somewhere. But, yeah, we need to change that, and we need to go through there and say, let's do this, let's fix this.
Yeah.
And then we can do that kind of as a motion in one to fix all the,
Yeah, so what you would do,
Thanks.
you would spend some time,
Yeah.
probably in January, to look through it and then decide that you might want to make some changes, but you're
Yeah.
not going to make any changes that day.
right,
You're
we're
going to have
just
to
looking
wait.
at them in January.
the
And then
next
do the
meeting.
work,
Yeah.
schedule the work study. And the work study might work real well if we met in January and looked at it, then we don't meet in February, so February might be a good month to schedule a work study.
Yeah, that's great.
And if we schedule it and advertise it,
That's a good plan.
then you could be the only ones that came. Well, we'd have to have a quorum, but if we got a quorum to come, then we could do the work study
Okay.
and not violate the sunshine laws.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, all right. April, I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, I'm sorry, any other questions? I know I'm gonna try to be quick, but there's a lot to cover and I do apologize. So first a review of September, October. September was National Get a Library Card Month, and there are a lot of fun pictures. If you don't have one, I could pass this down, make sure they get some of those. In the month of September alone, we made 609 new library cards, which was really exciting. We have nearly 90,000 card holders at this point. We have, I think it's 89,660 card holders, considering our service area population is over 200,000. That's really good, but it's also, we can do better, and we're still working on getting more and more. It's always so exciting. We welcomed Amy Corbett to joining our team in September. September, October, the past 2 months. This is what I'm reviewing. We have started all sorts of different things. October 16th was a very special day. I did not realize it would be the 16th is my son's birthday. He turned 7, and the only thing that it used to mean was Boss's Day, and I didn't know that that was a thing, except Mildred Cornwell used to always celebrate Boss's Day, and that was such a beautiful, sweet thing. It was to me. I figured with Mildred's passing that Boss's Day had probably passed too, and did not give it a second thought. It was just my son's birthday, and so I was very, oblivious to it, but I was incredibly touched when on Boss's Day, the next day, in my office in Hendersonville, and then later whenever we met as a team, my management team gave me a beautiful card, and it was really touching, and the Hendersonville team gave me this beautiful card, and all signed it, and it's really nice to work with you. Thanks for bringing more smiles to the job. Thanks for making a beautiful place. Like, it's just, it really has, it meant the world to me. It brought me to tears because, like I said, when Mildred passed, I really thought I would never see it again, and that just meant so much. They also gave me a fun little mug that is my favorite mug now, and my kids aren't allowed to touch it. My other child is a 3-year-old, a little girl, so sorry. But it has been a really fun, exciting couple of months. We have been very busy. I'm not going to read you all the pictures and captions and things in this. You can take this home. But the second page is all pictures from yesterday's training. We did a training with the entire staff of all 5 libraries. It ended up with 62 employees. It was a little over 50 that were able to make it. And it was such a fun, fantastic, informational, team-building, exciting day. And they're cracking up because they had a little too much fun, I think. But it was just such an encouraging, wonderful day. We learned a lot of things too. Yes. For the month of November, the third page is just some highlights. For November, we're doing a special campaign of Get Caught Reading. And there's also November calendars on the table that you can see. This is a calendar of every single thing going on at all the libraries throughout the month. And December is also very promising. You just wait. They've got a lot cooked up for that. But November's Get Caught Reading Month, and if you get caught reading at any of our locations, then you get a special mug that we have as one of our little marketing things. And it has been really fun catching a lot of people read. During those months, the next couple of pages are just highlights from individual libraries. The next page is homeschool. It's all of us still. We've just done so much. We have hit a chord with the homeschool connection, homeschool groups within Sumner County, and they are hitting up nearly every library. It is incredible. Every library offers some variation of a homeschool program, and I know we're short on time, so I won't go into details of what each and every one does, but they are all unique. They all handle homeschool education in a different way, and they all provide a different aspect of the homeschool education so that the kids who travel from place to place, they get to have a nice full education from the different places within the libraries, and it's so exciting. One of them, the one right here, this girl is going to rule the world someday. Her name is Talon, and this is an award ceremony that we did for her up in Portland. She's a homeschool student who considers the Portland Library her school and her home, and she just won the award. Help me get it straight. She won the award for the second time in her life to have read the most books in the summer of any child in the state, and she got a scholarship for college. And this is her second time to do it, and it is just incredible.
She's a 6th grader.
She's a 6th grader. Yes, and she did it once in elementary school, and this is her second time to do it, and she got it for the middle school division.
And she'll go to the high school too. She'll get the third.
She will. She is Supergirl. She is a book dragon. She's incredible. Now we get to fun pictures and places and things and highlights of all the fun things we've done over the past few months, from Fire Safety Week to our bingo programs to our mobile library visits to supporting our local schools. It has just been incredible. I will highlight one thing at Gallatin. They opened for Trick or Treat on the Square. They're always on the square. They are built into it. Trick or Treat on the Square usually brings hundreds of children, thousands of people. And this year it was on a Monday. And the library is closed on Mondays. But thanks to the Friends of the Library, and thanks to a couple of staff members and some shifting of schedules, and thanks to some commissioners who actually came to help us out, we were able to have the building opened only for parking, bathrooms, and trick-or-treating. We could not operate in any other way. There was nothing else we could possibly do. It was a ghost town as far as inside the building, but it was a good pass-through and bathrooms, and we were able to be that service because if you've ever trick-or-treated on the square, there's no bathrooms on that side. So you need the bathrooms. But there were over 1,400 people that were reached that day, which was incredible. Portland did a trick-or-treating thing on the previous Saturday where they had over 250 people in the building, and it was packed. And they had so much fun. It was just incredible. The Hendersonville Library did a fun 80s Mall Madness murder mystery, and they had a fantastic turnout for that. Their Friends of the Library have also been raising a lot of funds with their book sales that they put so much work and effort into. They have just done phenomenally. The Millersville Public Library, their children's librarian actually used to work for the Adventure Science Center, and so they have a STEAM-based homeschool program, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, thank you. And she has been just blowing us away with science. And they did brain surgery with Jell-O, and they learned parts of the body and respiration, and she's just done a phenomenal job. That's in Millersville, and I apologize again, I'm going a little fast.
That was an outside activity. As I said,
I'm not going to read all of these to you. It has just been phenomenal. And then Westmoreland, wow. They made 49 cards, nearly 50 cards in 1 month. And for that place, to do that in 3 months is unheard of. They've done it in 1 month consistently for the past 3 months. Like, they are amazing. They are packed, they're slammed, they're at full capacity whenever they have children come. They don't have a room that can hold everyone, so whenever they have children's programs, it's out in the open and it's in front of everything and everyone.
It's like you walk into the building and it's just
kids everywhere, which is what these pictures are. They are just kids everywhere, and it is phenomenal. And they have done so much too. So that's as quick as I can do a synopsis of what has been the past couple of months, what is coming up. Be sure to come check out, and I know you'll be getting invites for various things this coming December. It has just been phenomenal, and November, December are very promising as well. I'd also like to give you a quick annual report, because it was about a year ago that we started the system, and when I was hired, I gave a presentation, and this is online under the Sumner County Library Systems page. You can read it, or if you'd like to read my copy, you're welcome. That was my outline, my plan for how we were going to get the system working. So here's just a follow-up on that. And also a giant sheet of fun statistics and how we've been doing. Programs have been shooting up. Circulation's been about the same. Computer usage went down a little bit because we had some computer issues, but we've got those all fixed thanks to IT. But program attendance has just been phenomenal. And again, really look at Westmoreland. It's unbelievable how much they've shot up. And it's really, really amazing. The numbers are slightly skewed because we used to count meeting room usage in it, and now we don't, and so that number's off. I know a couple of them look like they're negatives. In reality, they're not. They're significantly higher, but it's just the way that things fell with the meeting room usage and attendance. We have since increased our accuracy in statistical data that's being reported, and that was, again, by meeting regularly with library administration, all of us working together to determine how to categorize and define our collected data so that we're reporting apples to apples and making sure that it's accurate data now. And we send all of these, we do monthly statistical reports, and we combine them, and we send those to the state, and we put it all together for a yearly thing. A year ago, I stated the following would happen for Sumner County Libraries. Under the library system plan, we could reallocate funds to provide more and better front-end customer service. And this would be accomplished by eliminating redundancies, improving communication, and through meticulous planning. That value added would be visible in year one, and improvements in programs as they were developing would be apparent. And that has happened. So here's a report of some of the things we've done. We've increased the accuracy in statistical data. We have standardized our pay scale for employees. And Susie, I will give you a copy of this. I know this is going to be helpful. We've standardized the pay scale for our employees. We now have equitable pay rates for our employees, and now that that's been implemented, it has led to more retention and increased the quality of applicants that we've had, which has been phenomenal. We've improved our payroll and timekeeping accuracy among employees and departments. This includes us doing an internal audit of each payroll, and we double check, and we have triple checks and make sure that we are reporting the things right so that we pay people properly. We've implemented a community-first culture. We are a community-driven mindset. We serve the community better. We have saved the county funds through improved stewardship of utilizing discounts and shared resources. We've saved over We've saved over $2,500 alone just in memberships, licenses, and performers, which has been pretty awesome. We've been improving on working with our working relationships between the libraries and with the other county departments. We've redefined responsibilities with the focus of serving to provide better front-end customer service. We've eliminated redundancies and minimized waste to better reallocate funds back into the libraries. We've evaluated and performed needs assessments on every vacancy and determined where we needed to have the hires best. And whenever we have hired, we have reset pay rates instead of hiring to the last pay to ensure that it's equitable and we are saving properly. We've decreased the number of state standards not being met by almost 80%. I know that's super exciting, Cecilia. We've reduced the number of library standards not met from 98 to about 18 out of 655. And that's pretty exciting. And working together on those things, man, doing it as a team is just incredible. It was so much easier sitting and knocking it out in one day rather than all 5 of us having to meticulously work on it for hours on end for weeks. We've increased the number of Sumner County Library staff trained in all core competency state requirements. In fact, there's some staffs that have completed the course entirely, which is pretty exciting. We've maintained the individual library culture and uniqueness while providing a unified, positive message for all Sumner County libraries. And I mean, you should see the text chains these guys put out. They are united and they're wonderfully getting along.
They're all right.
They're all right, I guess. We've hired a Sumner County Library bookkeeper, which has led to improved relations with county departments, particularly the finance department. Those girls, we call her St. Susan, and she has absolutely earned that sainthood title, and the finance girls would agree. Our relationships with our regular vendors have also improved, which have led to her being able to consistently produce discounts for us. She has saved the library system many thousands of dollars in duplicated man-hours spent on accounting and bill pay. She is amazing. We've established a branding kit and standardized professionalism with our social media accounts thanks to improved media and marketing strategies created by our outreach coordinator. We've increased and improved our communication with public through our improved social media. We've improved customer service experience by We've improved the customer experience by checkout being available at all libraries. You can use your current library card at all locations to check out materials anywhere. And whenever those materials get checked back in, then the directors, whenever we meet every week for our management meetings, they bring them and they trade them and they get sent back to the home library. And it's really been phenomenal. We've improved our communications with weekly management meetings, frequent emails, calls, and texts. We've ensured that patrons have felt welcomed by making adjustments to our displays and our acquisitions to ensure proper representation and welcoming environment was available to each community. We've collaborated on technical issues in the background side of things with cataloging, and they're being worked through together as a team. And we've begun negotiations and scheduling possibilities to entertain the possibility of expanding hours for the Hendersonville location. We've done all of this to better serve our community without any additional funds, aside from the salary survey adjustments that everybody else got. So we are working on less than 1.3% of the county's overall budget, and yet we've saved our community roughly $6 million per year. Some things from this plan happened, some things from this plan didn't. Some things may continue to happen, we're still working on them, some things may not. It has been one heck of a roller coaster ride this past year. Some things that I expected to take years just occurred almost magically, instantly, very quickly. Other things that I thought would be simple, we just shelved, and we will come back to them when we are ready. I realized at one point that my plan, I was no longer in control because every time I had a plan, and apologies, I'm about to get a little personal for a moment. Every time I had a plan, I realized that my plans weren't what needed to be followed, that I was being led to do other plans by somebody of greater importance, greater being, and I thank God for everything that He has done for me for this past year. We weren't going my pace, because if we were, goodness knows we would have slowed down. But I hit a point where I literally just threw up my hands and let God take control and said, okay, God, what are we doing today? Because my plans aren't working, and I know that yours will. And so we just started walking by faith, and my faith has grown so much this past year. Every time we came upon obstacles and I thought they were impossible, a door, a window, or a mouse hole of some sort would open and a way was made, and it's been incredible. It has not been easy. It has cost a lot. It has cost me a lot. It has cost my health. It's cost my time with my family, with my children. There have been a lot of nights where I have not made it home to tuck them in, and that's been rough. It at times seems to have cost my reputation. I have had fear for my reputation. I've had fear for my life throughout this year. I have been through so much, but I knew that I was doing the right thing and I was in the right path because I was being led to do the right thing with the right people at the right time. And that's what I've been meant to do. And I've had this incredible team every step of the way, and it has just been amazing. And I know it sounds crazy if you're not a Christian or if you don't believe in God, but it has just been an incredible year. It's been an incredible experience. It has been a faith crisis for me in so many ways, but I have grown, and I have matured in a lot of ways, and we have grown together through all of this. And I thank you for trusting me, for giving me this opportunity to try this, and I'm so excited about the results that we've had and how well things have gone, and I'm just thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the moments. Thank you for the support. It has been my continual prayer as things have gotten difficult of God, just help me through this. God, help me to stay and help me through this. And then someone threw out the possibility of, sometimes things happen at different times and there are different phases of life. And maybe you're supposed to be praying, God, if I'm meant to go, then help me go. So that's been my continual prayer of, God, help me to stay or help me to go. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want to do, but please help me with that. I'll be honest, I did apply for the Clarksville Library job because it pays a lot more money. They've got a lot of opportunity. They've got a lot of possibility. They're about to open a whole new branch. There's a lot of things there. But after I prayed about it, I just kept getting sick, and I kept just knowing that I could never give Clarksville what I have given this county. And I would have the same problems of not getting to see my children, of my stress levels, my health deterioration. And so I've asked them to please do not consider me for that, because I could not stand the thought of that. So I kept asking, help me, please. Help me to stay. Please help me to stay. or if you really want me to go, then just help that happen too. And please be careful what you pray for. Because I literally got called into ministry, and it cracked me up. It was after our meeting last week, after we just had a similar conversation, and I literally got called by a ministry that I love, that I am very passionate about, and they said, "We know this is entirely crazy. We know the shot of this is impossible, but we have an opening and we desperately need somebody with your skills. And it's an international ministry that happens to be based out of Hendersonville, which is amazing. And they said, we would love to offer you this job, and we would love for you to come join our ministry." And that floored me because it's not in libraries. It's not what I prepared for. It's not anything I've studied for, trained for. I mean, it does publish some books, but also TV shows and all sorts of other things. It just blew me away, and I could not believe that they would offer this to me, or that I would even be considered for something like this. And so I told them thank you, and I would think about it. And I prayed over it and prayed over it and prayed over it. And every time I came up with an excuse of why not to go, it was a selfish excuse of, I don't want to leave the libraries. And I don't want to leave my best friends at this point. And it was always a selfish, lame excuse. And I could not come up with a good reason, even with money, because it pays a lot less. and that it still worked out, and we're like, somehow this is what we're meant to do, and even the circumstances of them even thinking of me have just been little miraculous steps. So, door, window, mouse hole, I don't know, but last week I accepted that position with that ministry, and it is so bittersweet, because I really hate to leave the libraries. I love you all so much. But at the same time, I see the potential that this ministry has, and the reach and the growth and the things that they're about to boom with, and just how much good they do in the world already. And I'm so excited about being part of that. I know that it's going to be incredible. I know that I've been called to go be part of this. And so I get to live in Hendersonville. I get to have weekends and holidays off, which I've never had in my entire adult career. I will get to go home to my children at night, and I will get to spend some time with them before I have to tuck them into bed. And I will get to take my children to the library programs and to the events and to check out books at the libraries. And you better believe I'm visiting all 5. My kids have gotten spoiled to doing the grand tour and going to all 5 in a day. So I am so sorry, again, to be so personal about all this, but I felt I needed to explain the whole situation. I will also be emailing you my formal resignation as Director of Libraries. And I encourage and challenge this library board to please support these directors. They are an incredible team. They are wonderful, and they have done so many amazing things within their libraries, and they are going to continue doing amazing work. Please encourage them, touch base with them regularly, multiple times a month. And friends of the library, please do the same. Please check in with these directors. How can you help? What can you do? Even if it's just patting them on the back and reminding them that they are some amazing people who do some amazing things in this world, because sometimes they just need that. They need a reminder of the good they do. And if you will please be more involved with them, and they're going to have a heck of a lot of work too. They're going to be taking on a lot. So over the next month, well, slightly less, especially with Thanksgiving, I'm planning on my last day being December 2nd. I'm going to be divvying up my responsibilities among these 5 so that they can work together to carry this on. it's my recommendation to the board to please take some time to think about what you want to do with this position, what you want to do with this system, how you want to move it forward. And then please take some time to get to know the commissioners and talk with them and find out what they want from the library system and what they want from the libraries and how they want the libraries to operate. And please talk with the management team and give them a couple of months to work as individuals and see how that works. And then give them, if there needs to be a replacement for this position, then take their recommendations of what is going to be needed for that position. Or if they are able to take it on and run with it and keep it going alive without this position, then more power to them and let them do that. But they're going to need your support, and just please do that. So with all of the sobbing and blubbering, I do apologize. That's the end of my report, and Cecilia, I'm so sorry you've got to follow that up.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. So it's a shock to the system, and I know everyone is, it's shocking. And I just want to say that just the turnaround this board and this library has had this last year is impressive. And just looking at that, these directors here and the leadership team that April has been able to create, and the team spirit we see, and the cohesive services that you are now providing, and the conditions that the board can now work under. I think it's impressive. It's impressive, and I think April should be very proud. And should be very proud. I know I will miss you, but I have a feeling we'll talk.
I'll be seeing.
But I feel sorry for this group because I know they're very upset. I understand that. I will quickly go through my report. I know that you guys need to go home. I did put in front of you this training plan, and this is, and I apologize again because for new board members, they don't really know who I am and what I do, but this is a big part of what our office does, provide training. And this here is there. These are trainings that are available to you all year round, and we would love to see trustees. And I think one of the main things that I want to focus on now is really meet with you guys, and maybe have our orientation that we normally do, where we go through what maintenance of effort is, we go through public library law, we go through what kind of is expected of you to be on the board. So it takes about an hour and a half, and it's usually a really nice conversation. We get to know you a little bit more, because this is obviously going to be hopefully a long-term kind of relationship we'll have with you. So we're excited about that, so I'll send you some emails to get that going. I'll email you, don't you worry about it.
I'm so sorry to keep you.
No.
Again, we're normally out of here by 5.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One thing that is going to happen now for Jackie, who is the new board chair, she is going to be invited to what we call a board chair roundtable, and the first one will be on Monday. So yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
So this is a roundtable that consists of board chairs from around the region. So we really want to make sure that they get together and we go through some basic things we think a board should focus on and a board should know. So what we will talk about the next time is how to prepare for board meetings, basically.
And keep them shorter, right?
Well, it sounds like a basic thing, but it's really kind of a backbone to what a board should be like, and preparing and sending out emails and documents and agendas and all that stuff. So we'll spend some time on Monday talking about that, Jackie, and I'll send you an invite tonight. And I think April mentioned this earlier, but she was talking a little bit about funding from state and federal that comes through our office. And right now we are funding, state funding for library materials only is $32,057. And federal funds is $7,644. So that's just part of our services to the libraries, but that's what you're getting right now. And I'm glad the MOE is in, and when we get that to our office, we will hopefully be able to release that money to you guys. I think I will keep it to that. That's the end of my report. But I will definitely reach out to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
We wish you all the best. We love you very much, and we are so proud of what you've done, and we're proud of what you've done behind you. So, Godspeed.
Thank you.
And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn this board meeting.
Do I hear a second? Second. Was that Joanna that
No,
said?
no.
No, I'm sorry. I can't see, I'm fine. I shouldn't get any no's on this one, but all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.